Today I'm going to show you my favorite LED mini Christmas lights. I've been using these lights for about 8 years now, and I'm going to show you all of these cool little features that these lights offer and that ways that you can customize them to be exactly how you want. We are looking at some commercial lights that a lot of professionals use that you can also use at your home. It's very simple and it opens up so many possibilities of different things you can do and to make your house look nice and neat. However, if you don't want to get into all these little pieces, I'll also show you how you could just pick up some lights that have a normal plug-in. But before we get to that, let's just go over what all the cool things that these lights can do and why I have them all over my house. Let's start with what makes these lights different. These are coaxial connected Christmas lights, and they have the opportunity to use all of these different accessories to connect the lights and make everything very simple and easy. So all of these Christmas lights that I'm using today use a coaxial connection, which means they have a connection piece like this, and they will connect in to another piece just like this, which is the benefit of creating a watertight connection, and you have a lot of variety in how you want to connect it. So let's look closely at what these can do. This set right here, I'm using ProChristmas, and I got these from Christmas Designers and from Amazon. And a lot of the just plain lights that I have right here that are one color, I've gotten from ProChristmas Designers, either their website or from their Amazon website. And then all these connections are mostly just sold on their website. So I have 3 different types right here. I have this piece that you can connect 3 different lights to. I have this one that you can connect 2, and I have this one that you can connect 7. So let's look closely. So right here we have the Y connector piece. You'll have to have a plug-in right here, and this will go into the bottom, and you will connect it right here into your piece, and that's how you will get power. So if you're going to use coaxial Christmas lights, it's going to cost a little bit more because you're going to have to buy extra pieces. When you buy a light set, you can't just plug it into the wall, and that's what makes these different. You're going to have to buy a power cord basically for every set that you use, or use these connector pieces. I really like these connector pieces, especially when I use them in trees in front of my house. So I usually in the past have had a big green tree, and what I like to do is I like to use this 8 piece and put it at the bottom of the tree, and then I can connect up to 8 branches with just one connection piece. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to pick up a plug-in, and this will go in right here. You'll put it in, and you will plug this in to your power, and then you can plug all of them in. So that's what I've done right here. All 3 of these lights are connected just to this one cord right here. So you get the option of connecting it and then going to different places. Let me show you a little bit more about these connections. Here is the 3-piece connection. All of these connections have a little O-ring around the side, and this will help give you a watertight connection. And when you have your Christmas lights, there's a little notch in here, and you'll push it in just like that, and then you'll tighten this up, which will create a watertight connection. One of the benefits of this is it'll help to stop your house from tripping, from rain, from water, and everything you know is not going to be disconnected if you get some wind. I've even had some pretty good storms. Everything stayed very well together. They're a nice thick wire, so these have all worked really well. If you look at the light bulb, these are all one piece, so these lights are not going to get water into them, and the plastic on them are dyed with the color into the plastic. So they're not painted, they're not going to scratch, they're not going to chip. These colors have not changed over 10 years. The green ones I've had for 10 years, the blue ones I've had for about 3 years. And so I haven't had any break. They're nice and strong. If one bulb does go dim, the rest of them stay lit. I've had maybe 1 or 2 on some of my green ones that are 8 years old actually go dim, but none of the wires have broke. So another benefit of these lights is that these are full wave lights, which means that they have 120 hertz and they're not going to flicker. So if you've used a lot of LED lights in the past, you know that they can flicker, especially if they're cheap. And so these lights are basically turning on and off at double the rate than normal 60 hertz Christmas lights. So it gives you a smoother light, a calmer light to look at. It doesn't have that flicker, which I personally really don't like flicker. It really can bother me. I know it can give some people headaches. So if you're looking for lights that aren't going to flicker, these lights really are good at that. LED, they last basically as long as the quality of the diode, and because I'm at 8 years, have been quality, so I've basically been stocking up on these. So let me show you what I've done in the past with my lights. I basically have the power coming in right here from the power cord that you'd have to buy, and then I purchased this 3-piece connection, and I take one of my light sets and I can connect it right here, just like I showed you, and you have the green lights for one bush on this side. And then I have another bush over here, so I'll take my other side of it and connect it just like this, and I have some green lights on the other side. Pretty simple. However, if I want to keep going, I can either connect this right here and it'll still work. So I can show you what that'll do, which is pretty cool. You just get so much creativity. I can connect another green light over here on this side, and you'll get more right here. So I have some there. Or if I have another light, let's say it's farther away, I have my extension cable right here. And this extension cable will go as far as I need it. Some of them are very long and some of them are not. So I can have this cable, let's say, come all the way over to these blue lights, all the way over here, and I can connect them right there. And you have more lights. And because they're LED, they're not using too much power, which really helps. This does have a 5-amp max fuse in here, and that will go up to about 432 watts. Each of these does carry about 9.6 watts. So you can get quite a few strands of light on one plug-in without overdoing the circuit. I usually try to get onto as many circuits as I can though, just to always be safe. But if you have a whole bunch of bushes around your house and you want them all on one plug-in, but they're not next to each other, and you don't want lights hanging between lights around the house, this is a great alternative to fix that problem. So when you're adding all these pieces from ProChristmas, you're adding even more cost to everything. So now I'm going to show you an upgraded version that they came out with last year. These are still by ProChristmas. These are an RGB WW light, which means they have your RGB, red, green, and blue, but they also have a warm white, and these are the same type of thing. So you're going to plug them in just like this, and they have a controller. So I'm going to hook up 2 lights so you can see that even with the controller you can hook it up into multiple connections. If I get the right angle, there we go. And so we have RGB WW. So you can use this button, it also has a remote, and you can change the color of the light. And this was awesome because I put these on the trees on the front of my house, but now I can change the color to whatever I want. So instead of buying separate lights for separate colors, I can have all these colors on just one set, and the lights are nice and bright. They're still very low watt. They still work with all of these. And I mean, we've got a purple, we've got teal, and we have the warm white. And so the benefit of these is you have the warm white. You know there's a difference between warm white and then the LED bright light that you see, and the warm white is calmer, but these are also full wave, so they don't have the flicker issues. You have all the multicolors. You can have it where it's just one color, you can have it where it's red and it flickers with warm white, or green and flickers with warm white, blue and flickers with warm white, or this is like opaque and then it flickers with warm white. With these lights, you still get the benefit of coaxial connections, you get the locking connections, you get the waterproof connections, you get the little rubber O-rings, everything still works, but the wires cost a little bit more and you have to buy this connection piece that controls them, and this works up to just 10 sets. So I do have 10 sets. I put all these sets in one tree on my house, and I can change the colors however I want. However, if you want the benefits of these lights that are one piece, waterproof, not gonna break, have lasted me a really long time, they do sell a connection that has a normal AC plug just built into it, and then you don't have to buy all the little connector pieces. And so if you just want the same thing but you don't really care about all the extra fancy pieces of customizing, you just want to put them on a tree outside or even inside, they're really bright. They do dim very well, so if you're on inside, you might want to put them on a dimmer. I think they're almost too bright for inside. They're perfect for outside. But they have the piece where it's all connected and you can just buy it and just plug it in. You don't have to spend anything extra. and I'll link to that in the description. So these are my favorite lights. I've been using them for many years. I'm going to use all the coaxial connections this year, and one of my trees will be covered in this tree that I can change any color. So for Halloween it'll be one color and Christmas will be one color. My other tree will be green or blue. Haven't decided what I'm going to use with my old ones. Because they do cost so much, I want to make sure I use them every year. However, because I've been able to keep them for 8 years, they've definitely paid for themselves. I haven't had to replace them. If I go to Lowe's and Walmart every other year, you're replacing your lights. So you may be paying half the price, but they're only going to last you a season. And like I said, these are 8 years old. These ones are newer. The wire's a little bit thicker. They haven't been outside as much. So they take a little bit more work to use. So thank you for watching and have fun decorating.